here with another art lesson. Today we're going to read a fictional story about penguins, and then we're going to learn some real facts about penguins. And then I'm going to show you two different ways to draw penguins. One way is a little bit easier, and the other way is a little bit more difficult if you want a little bit more of a challenge. But in both cases, in either case, I want you to add some personality to your penguin. So be thinking about what you can do to give your penguin some personality. Is there something you could add to the background to enhance his picture? Or is there something you could add, an accessory you could give him that tells the viewer a little bit about what he likes to do or what kind of pizzazz or flair his personality has? This is how an illustrator works when they're developing a new character for a story. They have to think about what kind of qualities they want to give their character, or they have to figure out a creative way to draw the qualities that the author has given the character. So be thinking about Filbert and his personality traits while you read this story about Filbert, the penguin. Filbert Flies by Carl Rumen, illustrated by Rolf Siegenthaler. One beautiful morning, Filbert soared high across the deep blue Antarctic sky. He was in a hurry, and he flew as fast as his wings would carry him. He didn't notice a big seagull flying behind him. Excuse me, screeched the seagull. What do you think you're doing passing me? You aren't allowed to do that. Why not? Asked Filbert without slowing down. Because you're a penguin, that's why, and everyone knows penguins can't fly. They can't. Just then he caught sight of a group of penguins waddling awkwardly on the ice below. Not a single one of them was trying to fly. Good grief, how embarrassing, thought Filbert. And he crash landed in the snow. Sad and ashamed, Filbert moped on the ice. How could I forget penguins can't fly, he thought. I was doing fine until that seagull reminded me. Filbert was very upset and a little angry. The more he thought about it, the angrier he got. Soon he was so cross, he tried to tear out one of his tail feathers. But with his short beak, he couldn't reach. A little seal slid across the snow to him. What's the matter? You look sad, Filbert sighed. I was so happy flying along. Then I realized I can't fly. I'm a penguin. What do you mean, just a penguin? The seal cried. Who cares if you can't fly? Think of all the other things you can do. Like what? Sniffed Filbert. Like sliding on your rear down the slope. Filbert wiped the tears from his eyes. No one can beat you in races with the white whale. Filbert stopped sniffling. And you're a world champion skater. All the girl penguins love to watch you doing ice dances. The seal winked and nudged Filbert in the ribs. Filbert listened eagerly. And you're the most elegant waddler around. Look at your beautiful black and white coat. Very stylish indeed. I wish I had one. Well, maybe you're right, said Filbert, feeling much happier. You've really helped me a lot. Thank you. The seal continued. Just remember, you can do anything you want to if you just set your mind to it. And before Filbert could say a word, the seal pushed off from the ice and flew into the air. Soon, Filbert could see only a tiny dot in the Antarctic sky. The end. That's a sweet story about the power of believing in yourself and your own capabilities and abilities. Okay, boys and girls, penguins cannot fly, really. We know that. They have heavier bones than most birds, and that's why they can't fly. But an interesting fact is, because their bones are so heavy, it makes them better able to plunge down really deep into the ocean to catch fish to eat. Some penguins, some different kinds of species can dive as deep as 1,000 feet into the ocean to get things to eat. So I think that's incredible. Here are some other cool facts about penguins. I always thought penguins lived up north, like in the North Pole or the Arctic, but actually they live down south in Antarctica. A colony of penguins is what a large group of penguins is called, or like a flock, but in penguins it's called a colony. And they can have 20 million different birds as part of their group. Penguins return to the same place every year to have their babies, kind of like sea turtles. Penguins feed on food that comes from the ocean, like fish and krill and squid. I wonder if they eat jellyfish. That would be a cool thing to look up. Emperor penguins are the largest penguins. Penguins can live to be 15 or 20 years old. They don't have teeth. They have small, spiny, little pointy things on their tongues and throats, which help them keep the food in their mouth and help it get down their throat. While I'm showing you how to draw the two different styles of penguins, be thinking about which style you might like to try to draw. You need some kind of horizon line or ground line for your penguin to stand on. You need to draw a large oval in the middle of your paper that is a little bit bigger than your hand. This penguin has just simple kind of pointy ovals for flippers and kind of half circles for feet. On the inside of the first oval you drew, you're going to draw another oval slightly smaller than that, and then have it come to a point in the middle. You need two eyes. Your eyes can be any size you want them to be. They could be small and beady, or they could be larger and more cartoony looking. If you would like to give your penguin some winter accessories, you can do that, like a scarf, or I guess it'd be kind of funny to do mittens. You could give them a little thumb. You could do a hat. You could do earmuffs. You could do big boots. Any kind of winter accessories you could think about to draw would be fine. I'm going to draw a pom-pom hat and a scarf. I'm also going to draw an igloo in my picture. You could draw a seagull, or you could draw some seals, or you could draw a whole family of penguins in the background. You could draw a beluga whale in the background. So you could put lots of things from the story or from your own personal knowledge of what Antarctica is like to add to your picture or your illustration of a penguin. Okay, the second way for you to draw a penguin is slightly more difficult. You still need a ground line or a horizon line. Remember, the horizon is where that line where the ground meets the sky. I always think of the ocean, where the ocean meets the sky, or in this case, the ground meets the sky. You're going to start again with one oval. This guy is a little bit wider at the bottom than he is at the top. That oval, and then you're going to draw a smaller oval with like an additional round cheeky part for his cheeks. And then you're going to draw two half circles for his eyes, and they're going to come together and meet where his beak is. And they're just arches, like the arches on the McDonald's sign, but not quite that pointy. And then you're going to draw his beak, which is like a rounded, kind of like an almond shape. And then draw a pointy or a more rounded, pointier triangle on the bottom. He has little curved lines to kind of emphasize his fat cheeks. And then giant round eyes above, resting on or slightly above those fat cheek lines. I'm going to give him giant highlights in his eyes, 2 highlights in each eye, a small oval one and a bigger round one. And right now I'm trying to get the shape of his face. I want his face to be a little bit more squat or squished looking. So he almost looks a little bit like a duck. This guy's flippers are a little bit bigger than the other guy's flippers. And then the top part of his flipper is black. You can make his feet black or you can make them orange, but these feet have 3 little sections, almost like 3 little toes. I'm going to put some mountains in the background behind this guy. And I also want to give him some accessories. And here this guy is with his bow tie and his hat on. If you have time today and you'd like to go over your pencil lines with Sharpie or a black crayon, feel free to do that. You do not have to do that. Not very much of your penguin is going to be colored in black. Just the area around his face, and his part of his flippers or all of his flippers, or if you did this style penguin, just that small oval outline around the edge is going to be black. I decided to give this guy some ice skates. So the supplies you need today are a 12 by 18 piece of white paper. You need a pencil. You'll probably need an eraser. And you need a black crayon or a black Sharpie. You might not get to the outlining part until next week, and so that's fine. You need your imagination, because I'd like you to give your penguin some personality or some accessories or something that makes him unique and individual. The art elements that we're using today are line and shape, and we are using space because you are designing your composition. It's not a competition. You're designing your composition. I'm going to leave you with a cheat sheet or a how-to sheet for how to draw the two different penguin styles. So you don't have to go back and watch the video again, and you can pause this next screen. I'll see you next time.